In the spring of 1969, American B-52s had begun the secret bombing of neutral Cambodia. Top-secret military cables obtained under the Freedom of Information Act were part of a cover-up that was the real beginning of Watergate. The pilots were sworn not to tell even their superiors, and their logs were falsified. The official aim of the bombing was to wipe out a Viet Cong base in Cambodia, a base that existed only in the imaginations of American generals. President Nixon's aim was to show the Vietnamese communists just how tough he could be, a policy he once described as the madman theory of war. The Cambodians who died were called collateral damage, and their burning villages were called friendly fire. In 1970, the United States invaded Cambodia. A member of Dr. Kissinger's staff described how the invasion was launched. Nixon had been watching his favorite movie, Patton, whose war heroics seemed to fortify him. Kissinger had been dining out on stories of Nixon's drinking. Shortly before the invasion, Nixon, who was drunk, spoke to Kissinger on the phone. He slurred, "If this doesn't work, it'll be your ass, Henry." Kissinger had once described Nixon as unfit to be president. He also called him a meatball mind. Kissinger received the Nobel Peace Prize.
Automatically and semi-automatic.
How old is he?
10 years old.
At 7:30 a.m. on April the 17th, 1975, the war in Cambodia was over. It was a unique war, for no country has ever experienced such concentrated bombing. On this, perhaps the most gentle and graceful land in all of Asia, the United States unleashed 100,000 tons of bombs, the equivalent of 5 Hiroshimas. The bombing was the personal decision of Nixon and Kissinger. Illegally and secretly they bombed Cambodia, a neutral country, back into the Stone Age. inferno came Pol Pot, a former Buddhist monk in the Khmer Rouge, whose revolution had never enjoyed a popular base until Nixon's madman theory of war. The horror began almost immediately. Phnom Penh, a city of 2.5 million people, was forcibly emptied within hours of their coming. The sick and wounded being dragged from their hospital beds, dying children being carried in plastic bags, the old and crippled being dumped beside the road, and all of them being marched at gunpoint into the countryside and toward a totally new society, the like of which we have never known. The new rulers of Cambodia called 1975 Year Zero, the dawn of an age in which there'd be no families, no sentiment, no expressions of love or grief, no medicines, no hospitals, no schools, no books, no learning, no holidays, no music, no song, no post, no money, only work and death. Only work and death.